Thank you very much, Ashley. Yes, welcome to PGL, rounding out day 1 of week 6. My name is Vedius. I'm joined by Nemira and the wonderful Odoamne, who's chillaxing over there. How are you, my friend?
This is just top lane POV when Hullbreaker becomes meta.
That does make sense.
I was kind of just slouching like this the whole game, just hitting towers and shit.
No, I saw. This is like a version of the gamer pose. You've got Flathead's version, right? And then you've got this version. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just being chilling, you know?
So I do have a question for you, though, because on Twitter a few weeks ago, you said that you were working towards 2,000 deaths, and you didn't die once this game.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta take one step forward to go 2 steps backwards.
Right.
So this was maybe one of those games where I don't sprint it, but there's always like a next time, you know?
There is a next time. There's always tomorrow.
What if tomorrow, I went to 207, I begged my team for some kills at the end, but what if tomorrow I just go 0-9-0 and then my team begs me to not die more?
That's very true.
Balance in all things.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you did go 0-2 last week, so it's almost like an IOU, you know what I mean?
I mean, even last week I didn't die as much as I should have died, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I really need to step it up.
You do need to step it up. Now, Odoamne, we do want to talk a little bit about that game. It seemed pretty one-sided from beginning to end. When we last spoke to you, you talked a lot about how you feel Rogue have been getting a lot of draft advantages. Do you think this was just another draft diff game?
I mean, I do think that last week we dropped the ball in the drafting department.
Yeah.
I feel like our view on meta was maybe a bit outdated on what we thought was like prior and
Well, you
stuff.
played Ari mid.
Oi. Shush. It's my champ.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just one of those Ginger days, you know, where Ginger woke up and he's like, I played a lot of Ari. I really want to play Ari today.
Right.
I mean, this week he also had Ginger days in scrims where he's like, I really want to play this random champion that only he plays. And we're like, it's part of his personality.
It's a phase, right? I get it.
I mean, it's a phase, yeah. So, I mean, maybe the Ari experiment ended.
Right.
I mean, I hope it ended. we will know. Hey, Ginger, are you going to play Ari tomorrow? Because we're talking about your Ari pick from last week.
He can only play mages, is what you just
he said he's not playing Ari ever again, but then again, we know that's a phase, and the Ari phase will probably come back.
We'll okay. What did you think of Rogue's draft? You talked a little bit about it earlier.
I think the one today or the one
today?
The one
Not
today.
last week. Last week.
I feel like this is like almost like the opposite of the draft, which kind of went against the Astralis, where the one against the Astralis, like you make like 1 or 2 mistakes, and you're playing very similar comps, which are pick comps, and you fall behind, and it's just really hard to play the game. Whereas this one, they make a couple of mistakes, you just kind of just win the game. That's kind of what I felt about it, particularly with the Hecarim getting really far ahead and they're just really hard to kill. It felt like there was the burden of making mistakes kind of flipped over between the comps.
I mean, in a way, we felt like it was quite similar. It's just that we kind of had a wrong read on maybe how strong the picks actually are, well, excluding the Ari draft. But even like against Astralis, I think we had like Rise Jace and we just failed to snowball or like capitalize, and we were like, okay, these champions maybe are not as strong as we think, or at least together, and then we felt like the loss against Astralis was an eye-opener in sense of like drafting, because we were like, okay, their answers were pretty good to what we had, and I mean, Rise and Jace are individually good picks, but we felt like that game, for example, I mean, we kind of copied the draft. Actually, no, it was Misfits that they had Orianna into Rise as an answer. No?
Yeah, it was the Vex in the Astralis game, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like, flipped our priorities a bit on what we consider are like stronger picks for like mid and top, and we kind of like adapted, but I don't know, in a sense it was like good loss because we have been kind of dropping the ball in practice and in the drafting department because, I mean, I don't know, it sounds stupid, but at the same time, when you're 9-0, you kind of feel like you can do whatever you want, and you're going to start winning. And it's really hard to, I mean, as much as we tried, because we really tried to not get ahead of ourselves, and I don't think it was really like cockiness that made us be like, oh, okay, we can start drafting this greedy way. It was just like, you kind of get this air around you that, yeah, you can just do whatever you want indirectly. And ultimately, we kind of paid the price, you know? We just had bad drafts for a week in a row, and also, like, our practice was bad, so we dropped the ball on, like, macro as well, because our macro was kind of nasty against both Misfits and Astralis. So, in a sense, it's like, yeah, we paid the price.
Okay, so one of the big discussions that has been coming up is Malrang. He has been a large part of what has made you a very strong early game team in particular. And also we heard Larson talking about how he wanted to counter this idea that he was a one-dimensional jungler that could be figured out, that all he ever did was gank. And then I did find it funny that he picked a slightly more scaling jungler and then ganked bot lane at level 3. But he is our player of the game, the Kia Pog, with 67% of the votes. So what are your thoughts on Malrang, and do you want to doubt or silence some of the doubters around him?
I mean, it's just whatever they say about Malrang is just massively high on copium, you know? It's like, oh, just don't die to his ganks because he just ganks. But I mean, you know, realistically, if he doesn't see a gank window, he's not gonna just wait for a window and do nothing, you know? I mean, you're just taking the next best play, which is farming, and he's just gonna look for a window next time. But I mean, it's just everyone's on copium because they're like, yeah, we're just gonna figure him out, guys. Just yeah, just don't die to his ganks, guys, and all of this stuff. And it's like, yeah, actually, whatever. He can just he can also full clear. He can also go inspired mode and just full clear, and when we need him to, and yeah, whenever he.
And actually, I think one of the things which really interested me about Malrang is actually his defensive play as well. It's like sometimes you'll notice like, oh, Trimby's gone and roamed, and like that means, maybe there's a chance that you can kill off the ADC who's pushing on the right. No, Malrang's just recalling at a bush because he's cleared towards that. He seems like he's been really good at kind of like looking at which lane needs to reset next, clearing towards that direction, buying a lot of time for the resets too. And I think that goes really unnoticed because it's much easier to focus on the ganks.
Yeah, I mean, one of the unique things that he does, and I feel like he's really good, or like it gets foreshadowed by the fact that he ganks a lot, is the fact that he reads the enemy jungler well, or like finds and provides us with a lot of information. Because I felt like I have never really played with someone that finds enemy jungler as often as he does.
Right.
And in a way, he doesn't really need to do much when he provides so much information for the lanes, because lanes are in a way self-sufficient when you always know where enemy jungler is because you have the timing. Even today, I think he did a random invade on Krax super late in the game at like 5 minutes, and he dropped a ward, and then we saw Lee, and then all of a sudden, you know Lee's position for the next 2 minutes. And stuff like this, I feel like goes unnoticed just from the fact that he just finds these good windows to gank, you know, because I feel like his biggest strength for us is just the fact that he provides us with so much information.
Right. Okay, well, that was a very insightful answer, Odoamne, and I'm sure that many of the people who are smoking their copium will still find ways to challenge Rogue. Of course, many still believe that you will fall at the end. The question is, will you be able to keep this momentum going, Odoamne? Can Rogue be the champions this time around?
I mean,
well, of course he's not going to say no.
Well, it's Odoamne.
I'll probably say no. So. I mean. I don't know. I mean, we lost to Astralis and Misfits, so that kind of sucks.
True.
So that our hype train kind of died. But
True.
I mean, I don't know. We just need to do our work, just grind, and at the end of the day, you're either winning or you're losing. I mean,
No, I get it. It's just, to me, Odo, I've known you for such a long time, and like these questions have come for you, and I just love the fact that you're kind of at the point where you're like, you know what, it is what it is. We'll see when we get there. You know, you've been playing League for so many years now.
I mean, I've been through like this roller coaster of, hey, you're in a great position to win.
Yeah,
will you win?
yeah.
And I've been through this position so many times at this point, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I mean,
we'll find out.
Even if we lose, whatever. It's just a game.
It's just a game.
It's just a game.
Exactly.
It's like the Jankos meme where I was like, hey, Jankos, I'm really scared of dying here. Can you cover me? And he says, don't worry. If you die, it's just you're not going to die, IRL. It's just a game. And guess what? I died. Well, and he said, it's okay, Mr. Odoamne. You're still alive.
It's just a game. Right, yeah. Now let's have a look at the standings because Rogue have solidified themselves back in first place with a 10-2 score. Their undefeated record was slightly blemished, but Odo, we have this massive tiebreaker for second with Fnatic, G2, and Misfits. Does the Misfits performance surprise you at all?
Kind of, yeah. I feel like they kind of just sneaked in there, no?
Yeah.
I mean, both Fnatic and G2 massively dropped the ball today. I mean, it's kind of like they pulled the Rogue from last week where he just
did pull a Rogue, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we saved Fnatic. Imagine the backlash Fnatic would have got if they were the ones losing to 0-11
right,
Astralis.
it's
Holy
true.
smokes.
Now everyone thinks that Astralis is going to win the World Championship, so...
You mean they're not?
I mean, can Astralis still go 18-0 or what?
So Astralis can still do the Schalke Miracle run that you did, I'm pretty sure.
Well, actually, they're in a similar position.
They're in exactly the same position as
Start at 1 to 10. Make the run from there.
Oh,
And you've already played them, so you don't have to worry anymore. Yeah.
I mean, in the America run, our last game with Schalke was we were literally playing against, what was it, Mad Lions?
I think so.
First in the split, and we kind of bumped them down into second place, and Ro got to first place and went to Worlds or whatever. So everyone was like, whew,
Yeah.
America run. But now we're out of it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard I'm all high on the copium for the Astralis hype train to Miracle Run it.
Okay.
Miracle runs are always fun.
They are. Well, let's find out who Astralis are playing tomorrow, because they should be starting off our day against XL. XL did come off the back of a very strong week last week, but today they did end up dropping the ball. When we look a little more at Astralis, do you think that they are playing much better than what we've been seeing, or do you think it's more just to do with changes in the patch and perhaps some surprise pickup here and there?
I definitely feel that their drafts are good. I think for like the last 2 weeks we even saw a lot of people are saying that Astralis has like had maybe like the actually no. I mean, I don't know, I think their drafts are pretty good. I feel like they're one of the better teams that draft in the league right now. They still drop the ball in mid game sometimes because I think there was the game against who was it? Vitality that they should have won. And that was pretty sad. But I do feel like their strengths right now are just kind of drafting, and the fact that being last in a way it's a strength because you just don't care anymore. Well, it's not like you don't care.
In interviews too.
Yeah, you don't care about your. I mean, you don't care about the people, what they say. You know, you obviously care about your performance because you still want to win. But you're at the point where you're just kind of chilling, like I'm on the chair, and you're like, yeah, just play, you know, and see whatever happens. So definitely they're the dark horse right now, and as I said, I am aboard the Miracle Run. I think they can still pick up wins. I don't know if it's enough to make playoffs because it's kind of late. But they show some pretty good games because their drafts are pretty good.
Okay, well, you play against Vitality tomorrow, and then we have the epic G2 versus Fnatic. You know how it is.
Can you say the line? Can you say the line?
You mean the epic rivalry between two kings?
You can go deeper than that.
I can go deeper, but I'm not going to.
I also kind of want to hear him say that.
I don't know which line you want.
I mean, the one from like 2 years ago. You guys really loved it. 2 years or 3 years ago. You and Medic loved it. It was crazy. Come on. Say the line. Say the line.
You mean it's an epic clash between the two kings of Europe to settle who will rival the dynasty and who will cement the legacy here in Europe?
Say more.
Oh,
lovely.
Well, listen, you can establish your own dynasty here this week.
You're lucky I don't have my phone with me because I would have recorded and asked you to do it again. I really love it.
Ringtone.
Listen, stop mocking me and now speak about your game versus Vitality. Can you win? Will you win?
No.
Or will you fail? You're against Alfari. This guy's really good.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, no.
I know.
What will I do?
What will you do? Because he's going to counterpick you, and you know he's going to counterpick you.
Maybe you can build a hull breaker to stop you dying so much.
Actually, yes. I am building not one, but 2 hull breakers.
2 hull breakers.
Incredible.
It's the only way to counter a lane king like him. So.
That's true.
And cry for ganks. I'll cry for a lot of ganks tomorrow.
But what I understood, it's not up to you. It's up to Malrang.
True.
That is true.
I mean, I did teach Marang, because Marang has this kind of annoying habit of saying yes and helping people out.
Okay.
And I told him, you need to start understanding that Inspired always said no.
Right.
So you need to start saying no because it's making me uncomfortable.
It's also like your catchphrase. You know what I mean? No is like your go-to word, I would think.
Yes. So I'm like, Marang, just please say no more often to me because we need it. Because sometimes I'm just like, I mean, you're next to me, so let's do something, but it's bad for the game. So I'm just like, okay, just please learn how to say no. And he's like,
okay. You're taking this pure, uncorrupted person. You're just being like, no, negativity. Say no.
Yes.
Teaching him the way of the US solo queue.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm improving him. I mean, he needs to understand that top lane is like he says this as well. The jungler who ganks top will lose the game because top lane is useless.
True. That makes sense.
So it's like when I get ganked and I see him farming or being bought, I'm like, we won.
Yeah.
I'm on the copium train that I just died, but we won.
Okay, well, as you can see, Odoamne, always a fountain of knowledge, always providing valuable insight and encouragement to future gamers out there looking to be future professional top laners.
Don't lane top lane, guys. Top lane
That's all from us for tonight, but for you for sure won't want to miss tomorrow's game, so we'll see you at 4:30 p.m. CET. Thank you very much, and we will see you. Odoamne, thank you once again.
I'm waving like the Queen of England.
Yes, you are.
I mean, you should probably know this, no? You see this a lot on TV, being British.
I don't just follow the Queen around.
Really?
Well, I do.
Is that like a hobby?
I thought you were like the rest of us.